Hi there, my name is David Lomax from Barracuda Networks. We're going to talk about data protection today first of all, the Barracuda Message Archiver. So if you do have people out there that are using PST files, the Barracuda Message Archiver has the ability to import those PST files directly into the archiver, as well as we have a collector that can go out. So if you look at a normal network, for example, here's my mail server. Here may be my file server, for example. Traditionally, what most users are going to do is they've been told by the mail server you're not allowed it, so each individual user is going to start loading PST files onto the file server. So you're sort of robbing Peter to pay Paul. Worst scenario may be the actual individual client's machine, or even worse if it's a laptop going off-site, may have those PST files on it as well. The Message Archiver has the ability to, one, run a collector, which can be run on the file server directly. It will look for PST files. You know, there's 10 different PST files. It will find those PST files and automatically upload those to the Barracuda Message Archiver. The users themselves can drop their PST files directly onto the Barracuda Message Archiver. And the mail store itself, we can import historical stuff via IMAP or uploading it in various other means. So all of the historical data can be pulled in using PST imports or PST collectors, and then we can directly pull information from the mail server, going back all the legacy information. So that collects in all the other information. So like I said earlier, one of the big drivers are, if you look at mail storage, somewhere in the realms of 86% of the data on there is attachments. And for administrators, they know a good chunk of those attachments aren't being used. So not only is an archiver used a lot of times for litigation or legislative control, it's because the mail server is being bogged down by a lot of attachments. So we've already pulled in those legacy PST files. What we want to do now is try and leverage some of the storage on the Message Archiver, or alleviate some of the storage on the Message Archiver. What we can do with that is what's called message stubbing. So we can go through the storage on here and say anything greater than, for example, 10 megabytes, or we could say anything older than 30 days, for example. So the Barracuda Message Archiver will automatically talk to the mail server. It's going to look through all the attachments and see if either or with these ones, so it's one or the other. So if it's over 10 meg, or it's older than 30 days, I'll go through the message store and I'll do what's called stubbing. What that means is, if you look at a traditional email on a client, you're going to have the email that shows you who it's to, who it's from, and then your data in it. If there's an attachment, it's normally here, XLS let's call it, at the bottom of the file. With stubbing, what you're basically going to do is remove the email from there and you inject into here what's called a stub. Looks like a little grey bar, and on that is a hyperlink directly to the Message Archiver. So from a user's perspective, the email looks exactly the same, but the storage now for that attachment is on the Barracuda Message Archiver. And what that does is remove this large amount of attachments eating up storage on the mail server. So you get the best of both worlds. Your mail server is more efficient and running more cleanly, it doesn't have as much data in it. Your file store isn't being held up with a load of PST files, and your clients themselves certainly aren't holding PST files. The Message Archiver also gives the users the ability to talk directly to it. So if you say in your mail server, actually I'm only going to hold emails for the last 6 months or a year, the clients themselves can then point directly to the archiver and see all email from the beginning of time. You know, I've been with Barracuda nearly 9 years now, and I have the ability to see every email I've ever sent from the company from my mobile device. Okay, so that's how useful an archiver is from a user's perspective, while still giving the companies the ability to be within legislative control and alleviating the storage. I say a good chunk of the people we talk to, actually this is their biggest problem. They've got a lot of attachments, it's using up a lot of data on their mail server. So with the clients having access to this data, obviously both administrators and clients can do it, but it's very easily searchable. You can create multiple search criteria, so not only who it's to or from, based within a date range, based on certain information within it. The archiver also indexes data within commonly used attachment types, so if there is a user or a name or something within a file attachment, we'll index that as well, and the users can search on that very easily. What the users can also do, if you're an offline user, you have the ability to say, actually I want to hold that data offline, or you can actually create an offline storage file on your machine for all of your email archiving. So while it never leaves the archiver, it means you can have every single file or every single email you ever sent on your machine. One thing I think I should talk about, which I didn't say at the start, when we're talking to the mail server, if this is Exchange, for example, we're not only talking about just mail content, we can do all the rest of the PIM information. So contacts, tasks, address book also gets backed up to the Barracuda Message Archiver. So if users delete or lose a contact they use or some sort of task they had set up, they can automatically restore that back from the archiver as well. So the Barracuda message archiving solution gives you a one-stop solution, not only from legislation, but also from an email storage perspective, and making life a lot easier for your clients out there. Okay, so thanks for watching. Again, my name was David Lomax from Barracuda Networks. Thank you.